Welcome back, guys. We're back again. It's No Stones Podcast. Ian and Joe happily back together again. Been getting a great reception from these, and I think it's literally because of the commentary we're able to provide.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say we're awesome, because we are.
I mean, we are awesome. But he's awesome too, man. God's awesome too. So
speaking through the word, with the people, it's a great thing.
There you go.
So what we're talking about today, I love it. You know, we were kind of spitballing. I was like, Joe, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we are talking about church hurt.
I love it. Yeah.
And a lot of people out there have had it. I know a lot of people who have run away from the church because of church hurt, things that people have done to them in the name of Christ, or things that they just found out, and what they call it, deconstructing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been deconstructing from their faith and stuff because of things that they have went through with people at church. And I mean, I know I got my stories.
Oh yeah, me too.
So yeah, I figured we could go through that.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I think we touched on it some with our very first podcast.
Yes.
We were talking about denominations, and that's where a lot of church hurt, I think, comes from people. It's the people that are trying to. I can't speak for another person's faith, but it's that they try and live in a projected way that a man's built doctrine has told them that it has to be.
I think that's precisely what it is.
And then they quickly don't actually even follow the word.
Yeah.
And that's where it's real troublesome.
Or if somebody sees them not following it, you know, as a kid or a young adult, somebody sees them, they profess to live a certain way, and you know, they're one way when they're at church.
Yeah.
And then somebody sees them away from the church, and they are completely not what they profess to be at church.
Yeah.
And that sends people into a tailspin.
I think that, dude, honestly, I think that's why I went so hardcore in the opposite direction for so long.
That's why I did too.
It's because I was sitting there and I grew up in the church, was doing all these things, and, you know, I gave it in my my get sober story. I was married right after the Navy, or in the Navy, and then in the Navy, and whatever. And I left church at that point because when we got back to Mobile, and again, I'm going to retract names. And certainly, you know, the documentary things. Unsolved Mysteries. We're going to change the names and places to save people. But you know, it was that we got in the church. We were trying to do all the things the right way.
Yeah. And
man, that's where it fell apart. Was I never really was trying to be in the way, if you will.
Right.
And now, quite frankly, where No Stones came from, where we started this, and now where I stand today, I just don't really care what other people think. I just want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way.
The only person I'm worried about trying to impress is Christ.
There you go.
That's it, you know, and I already know that he knows my faults and my flaws. So since he already know him, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's say, all right, hey, let's get back on track and let's go back at it again. You know, and I don't have a problem with doing that because I know that he sees me for who I am.
Exactly.
And I used to be like, hey man, I want to look like the part of, you know, with the people like the pastors in the church and the mothers and all of the people that used to, like I said, I went to a Pentecostal church, so all the people that used to jump up and run around the church. And I was like, oh man, they are really spirit filled. And then I saw these cats doing some old outlandish stuff, and then I was like, oh, okay, so this is what this is.
Yeah.
This is an act.
Well, it's almost like it's its own community, right? So when I joined the Navy, man, it was so funny. When I joined the Navy, we were in boot camp, and he was like, I'm going to warn you guys, you know, you're in boot camp now, when you get out and you get in the fleet, think of it as a mini city and a mini kind of like civilization study. Yeah. And we were like, talk about boats, you know what I mean? And he goes, you'll get in there, there's going to be people that are robbers, there are going to be people that are drug dealers, there are going to be people that are liars, there are people, and he said, every element of society still exists even in the military, even though we try and weed out as much of the crap as possible. Man, that's church.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, I think, is that outsiders look at the insiders and go, I saw you Friday night, and if you read the Bible, it doesn't say anything, don't drink alcohol. Yeah. It says don't get filled with anything other than the spirit as far as like inebriated. Right. But alcohol, like if you can handle it, there's nothing wrong with drinking on occasion.
Yeah, if you're disciplined enough to be able to do it.
But if you're out going
slam, it says don't be a drunkard. If being a drunkard is different than drinking alcohol.
If you're out every Friday and Saturday night, Jimmy Buffett had a great song. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's called Fruitcakes. Yeah. And he goes, it's a great song. And he goes, religion, oh, there's a fine line between Saturday night and Sunday morning. Yeah. and that whole song is about how he's a fruitcake and there's people that they warn you about kind of thing. Yeah. And man, that's the way the church is that I think people, especially now, they look at, and we were talking about the feel-good stuff,
Yeah.
the feel-good gospel,
Mhm.
and they go, well, it's okay for me to go see this band and take my mushrooms and drink, and as long as Pastor doesn't see
He knows
it,
my heart. God knows my heart.
He wants me to have fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
probably not with like,
Yes, overboard.
yeah,
A little bit overboard.
put the crop top away, babe. You know what I'm saying? Bud, quit doing church in the bathroom.
Yeah,
You know, and that's the
that kind of
problem.
stuff. And that's what it is, man. I see a lot of folks that they look at the people who are, like you said, the outside people. They look at people who are in church and they say, "Oh, them Christian people, they perfect." I've had people tell me before, "Hey, man, I'm not good enough to go to church."
God, that's what we want.
Because they think
So broken. Yeah, I'm
they
so
think this. They think that the people that go to church have these perfect lives, and there are some people out there who.
It looks like it on paper.
Yeah, it looks like it on paper.
And you know what this paper is? Fragile and thin.
Yes, very
That's
much
just
so.
like the lie they put on Facebook.
Yes, very much so. But these people, they look around and they say, well, these people, I can't be good like that. I can't be perfect like that. And so they just don't even
Don't try.
bother.
Yeah.
They don't even go. And then the people at the church are judging them when they walk in the door.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
and you can tell. You know, you walk in there, and they give you those looks, and you're like, hey, man, they supposed to be Christian people. Tony Evans told a story. He read Gandhi's book,
Yeah.
and how Gandhi went to a church and was trying to go, and the people at the door was like, hey, man, you need to go and worship with your own people. And so Evans, he was like, hey, man, church people can be judgmental too. Way over the top judgmental.
I had this conversation with my dad. My dad and I, when I first gotten back from the Navy, and I was kind of trying to reset a little bit after I got my divorce and kind of went to Auburn and got in the bar business. And I was like, coming back, I was like, you know what, Dad? I'll come to you at Licking Good Donuts in Saraland.
Yeah.
I'll sit around the table.
Great donuts.
Fantastic. And the kolaches.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so good. Shout out Licking Good.
Yeah. Them caramel covered bacon donuts.
So good. Oh my
Boy,
God.
let me tell you.
So good. Oh my God, so good. But I used to love going because of that, right? The coffee in the morning and all that, the camaraderie was good. But man, these men would sit around, and this is what I've always noticed in church. It's they're sitting around, they're like, how can we reach people?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? And I'd sit there, and one day I couldn't handle it anymore. And I said, guys, I have more community, more people that I truly feel what you say is love and care in a bar downtown with my bar family than I've ever felt at church.
Yeah.
And brother, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you guys have got, I was like, you guys have got to learn that, man, having your little, your cookouts and doing these little things for the community or whatever and acting like it's that holier than thou position.
I was just going to say it. I couldn't get it out of my mouth.
Man, that is the point of church is that we are all broken.
Yes.
We are all falling short of the glory of God.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about James. We're doing a study on James this week, guys, on Sunday. And the lecture on James is going to connect works. And what we talked about, I think it was last podcast, and how works aren't a definitive piece of how you gain faith because we're not good enough, but they will shine through because of your faith.
Yes.
And I think all too often we try to fake the works even.
Yeah.
And that's people know when you're
because
fake,
we want to look good.
Yeah.
We want to
People
look
know
good
when you're
in front of
fake,
people, you know.
And they know, but people know. That's where the church is hurting right now.
Yes. Yes.
And
it's really bad right now because it's almost like performative art.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like the church gotta be like this. And we got to put on this show like this at the church. It's a full blown production almost.
Yeah.
To make it look like it's glamorized and all this stuff. Man, but all these people are just broken people.
Yeah.
They're broken people. Now you come into church, you won't know that.
Yeah. Because they won't say it.
They won't never say it.
I will say this too. You know what the Catholics do get right? There's a few things. Their history's great. One of the things they do get right is the confession thing.
Yes.
But the thing is, I don't think it should just be to a priest.
No,
man, you should be able to tell everybody how you hurt. Because the more people are praying, the more the power, man.
One of the pastors that I respected so much, it was one of the first times I ever heard a pastor get up, and he said, it was the first time I heard him say, I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm talking to me too. Mm-hmm. I struggle with this. That was the first time I heard a pastor in the pulpit say that he actually struggled with something.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, blow my mind, because most of the pastors that I had seen growing up throughout my childhood, they had, like you said, that holier than thou mentality. Like they didn't do, when they were preaching, they was talking about you people out there in the state, you know, and those people out there in the world, as if they didn't have issues and problems and sins that they struggle with. Now you're starting to hear it a lot more over the internet with a lot of these internet pastors who are actually coming out and saying, hey, this is something we struggle with and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of these guys,
Not saying it.
they will never tell you that they have an issue or they'll struggle with anything because they want to keep the perception of being above everybody else.
Well, we turn church into a business. So like
It's,
guys,
ooh, boy, what you say, that's
would-
facts.
I'm not even talking like the tithing and all that stuff like that. That would be the whole other thing. But even like how people came into pastorship. So like one of my biggest struggles with wanting to start a ministry like we have, and you talked about it to me too, and I'm just putting you out there. I'm so sorry, but it was one of the biggest struggles that you had was going, I'm about to talk about God's word
In front of people, yeah.
and that is a heavy
That's
burden to bear.
hard, boy. Look, if you really care about it,
It's a heavy burden to
It's
bear.
heavy.
And
It's
so there's too many people, I think, and I'm not taking away, I can't speak for other people's faith, but there's too many people, I think, that graduate the high schools and they go, I'm going to Liberty University or Regent University or seminary, and I'm going to become a pastor.
Yeah.
And I'm going, kid, you're 18.
Yeah.
You don't know, and maybe you do, I'm not sure, but for you to have a calling on your life to lead others in Christ, I don't think you just walk into that.
It's not something I've heard people say. I've heard ministers say you can't just want to be a pastor.
No, I don't want to be doing this sometimes.
Man, golly, because if you want to do it,
Yeah.
it might. I understand you have a passion for doing it.
Yeah.
But somebody, like you said, 18-year-old, hey, I'm going to go out there. And the worst thing about it is a lot of these churches will put you on a payroll to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so now it's just like you say, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Now it's like the church is like a full-blown business. I understand. And that's another thing that a lot of people have with the church hurt, because they start seeing it as, oh, these guys are just up here trying to get money, and I can honestly understand where that comes from. I can see it, sometimes, because like I say, it is a full-blown production.
Yeah.
And it does look. I've been to some places, and I'm like, this just doesn't seem genuine.
Exactly.
It seems manufactured.
Yep.
For the purpose of getting butts in the seat.
Yeah. It's a concert experience.
Yes.
And you know what? There's guys like, man, I love Brandon Lake, right? He's got some great music. He puts on an amazing concert, and I'm sure and I love his music. I run to it now. All my whole running playlist is Christian, because I never thought that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But we're feeling with God, yeah. But it's too productive. And not productive in a good way, productive in a production setting, I think.
But even with him, I can understand a country music. I mean, not country. A Christian music artist having a full-blown concert.
That's one thing.
I get that.
Yeah.
But on Sunday morning, you got the smoke clouds coming with the lights flashing.
Is it the Drewski? His
was
so funny. If that offended people about him doing the mega pastor thing, I'm like, you know why you're offended?
Yeah, because
you know that's real, and that's what you do.
Shout out to Drewski, bro.
That was so funny. It was so funny, and I don't know what his. I'm be honest with you. I don't think the guy's a follower of Jesus.
Probably I don't know,
but he called out reality on it.
Yes.
And man, if you can't find some humor in that, something's wrong with you.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was so funny. It was so funny, but that's the point of it. Is it's not a money making thing. It's not a I'm going to go do this because I like to speak. It's not I love history. This is the most fascinating historical book I've ever read in my life. It's for me, man. I was such a lost, stupid soul for so long that when I finally let Jesus get a hold of my heart, it turned into, I feel like Paul so much, it turned into a duty.
Yeah.
It turned into where I can't help but talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
And these platforms help personify that mission and that message. But, to let you guys know, this ain't free for us.
Yeah.
But somebody's paying for it. And it's not that we're asking for it. It's that I willingly went, I'm going to do this, and here's how I'm going to set it up. And I looked at it as a business perspective, because luckily I've had some great things in my life that I've seen and been a part of. I went,
it's prepared. Your life has prepared you to be able to do this.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've set it up to where that's how we would fund it, but it would be funded by me, us, right? And our time and our efforts. And, that's what I think we, as a church, it's so hard because they have to pay the bills. They got to turn the lights on. Mm-hmm. But it needs to be genuine. And the other thing too, with the church hurt, I had that experience, right? Because my small group was where my wife was cheating on me, and like we would do all these things together, and I was so just adamant about never getting back in organized religion. Right. It wasn't. Here's the thing I had to learn. It wasn't the church. Yeah. It was my inability to go, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. And I look back, and I don't even blame. Honestly, quite frankly, I never even probably said this publicly. I don't blame her. I don't blame him. And I actually reached out to the guy. He lives way far away from here, which early on was a really good idea for him. Yeah. I was not happy. Yeah. But I reached out to him pretty recently, about a year ago maybe, and I was just like, hey, bro, you don't have to reply. I just want to let you know. I forgive you, dude. And I hate how everything went down. And I played a part in how that scenario came to be. Because if we weren't playing ping pong, beer pong and drinking after Sundays after church, probably would have been that scenario. Yeah. So I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do with it, but I was ready to blame everybody else. And that's, the church hurt, I think, that's when I found Philippians 1:21, man. It's my life verse, right? For to me to live is Christ, to die is gain. And Paul goes on to say, but if I'm living on in the flesh, this will mean fruitful labor for me. And I do not know which one to choose, but I'm hard pressed for both directions, having the desire to depart and be with Christ, for that is very much better. Paul is saying, as he's in Roman prison, when he says Philippians 1:21 through like probably 25 there, he's saying, I would rather be dead than dealing with being alive. Yeah. But I woke up today. So you know what that means? I get to go talk about Jesus. Yeah. And I went and I've shifted from, and I said this in my Get Sober story, I shifted from wanting to not be around for all the things I did to myself to where I still can't wait to die. Yeah. Well, we talked about this last week. Yeah. But it's because I'm so excited to see Jesus. Yeah. But for me to be able to have a conversation when I get there, I gotta tell as many people I can about it. You know what I mean?
And that's, I think you're right about with the Paul thing. Being able to have another day to be able to go and share to others about Christ it's exciting.
Oh my God!
But it will pale in comparison to being able to sit at His feet, man. And that's brother. I was talking to somebody the other day about that, and I was like, man, if you have a fear, if you're a Christian and you have a fear of dying. You might want to jump, because I was talking with my grandmother before she passed away, and I bought her house, and she was telling me, I was like, man, grandmother, you are 85 years old, it's a blessing. And she was like, I just don't know, I can't move around like I used to, and I have to wait on people to do stuff for me. I'm just ready to go. And it took me aback. I'm like, wait a minute, grandma, what? You can't be ready to go. No, don't be selfish now. Because you just want me to stay for you, but I've been living my whole life to go and see Jesus. And it dawned on me, I was like, wow, she's right. Yeah. You live your whole life as a Christian. Everything that we're supposed to be doing is to prepare ourselves to see Christ. Mm-hmm. The only way you're going to get there is when you pass. So, if you're afraid of doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's because the flesh, right? We are so used to living, and the church hurt thing is, again, it's always rooted, in my opinion, there's two sides to it. Are churches wrong and denominations wrong in some of the ways they approach things? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very much so.
Are we wrong too in how we approach it with our feelings and how we feel about it? Absolutely.
I think that's the thing that I think allows people to be able to run away from the church after they get church hurt, because it's like Paul said. Peter said it. They left us because they were never with us.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people they're looking for an excuse.
100%.
To just run away from it and just say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore anyway. Look at them fake people, and they did this to me, and they did. When I got my church hurt, it didn't run me away from the church. It made me say, okay, these people are not genuine. But like I said, I still believe in this. So it made me dive deeper into this. I stopped going to a lot of different churches. Mm-hmm. And that probably wasn't a good thing, because it's hard to be a good Christian without having Christian fellowship and people, a community. But what I did do was I took the time to be able to start studying this. And like I said, my pops really got on to me. And he had, man, look, my dad has a library downstairs that had a library in the basement. So I had a lot of stuff to read at my disposal to go through the process, And then once I got quasi-healed from the church hurt that I had, I started going back and started visiting other places, because at that time it's just like right now, I'm still longing for Christian fellowship.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
so I'm so glad we found each other.
Yeah,
it's so much fun, dude. Seriously, yeah. You guys don't know. We went to church together on Sunday.
Yeah, actually. That was a blast too. Man.
It was so nice.
Yeah,
because that's the same thing too. And with finding a church, I was the same way, and I was not wanting to go, and I was like, well, I'll just read. But the more I dive into this and build that relationship, there's a longing to go, who else is like me?
Yeah.
Who else thinks this way?
Yeah.
And I think, we come into that role in church where it's like, we think everybody's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of feel like everybody's kind of faking it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I'm gonna show up on Sunday and everything's gonna be fine. It absolutely is not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not.
And you can tell the difference, but I quit wanting to attend church because I thought it was something that was like a checkbox, right?
Yeah.
It was something I was supposed to do.
Exactly.
Now I want to attend church because I want to hear someone else's presentation of the word.
Yes.
I want to absorb.
I want to be fed. I want to be fed. And not only that, I want to be around, like you just said, I want to be around other people who, now that I realize that everybody's not perfect and I'm not perfect, and I understand how things go in the church, and that sign on the side of that church that's coming up the highway that says "No perfect people allowed." Great sign on there. Now that I understand that, I'm able to say to myself, I want to go and be around other imperfect people that feel Christ just like I do and are thankful for what He's done for us. And they actually, then I can look around, and it doesn't even bother me anymore. I'm not looking around saying that's a fake and I think these fake. Now I'm looking around and I'm like, man, everybody else in here is just like me.
Yeah.
They're like me. They're like fallen people that know that they are just ruined inside and they have all kind of problems, but they know that Christ died for them and they are here to praise Him and thank Him.
Exactly.
And it gives me goosebumps when I walk into a church now, because especially when the worship is good. And when I go in there and it's a good worship and I can see people really giving their all to. Man, it'll bring me to tears.
Yeah.
Because I know how I feel, and I'm like, I know these people feeling the same way, and that's where I'm at right now.
I love that.
That's where I'm at right now.
The more you read the Bible, so that was the other problem I had. I didn't read the Bible.
Yeah.
I read the stories.
I read the things that the pastor said. I took notes of what the pastor said in that Sunday, but I didn't understand the context.
Yeah.
Didn't understand the context at all.
The more you read it, I brought up Psalm 23, and I'm going to read it, and I brought my Hebrew Bible here, which is a direct Hebraic translation. It's got some great study notes here.
That's the one I want right now.
This stuff's fantastic. Yeah. It's the Hebrew Bible. It is the Robert Alter version of his commentary, and there's the actual Hebrew words that he gives, the reasons why they translated it the way that they did.
Oh, that's what's up.
And so that's what I love about the commentary. But I read it. I mean, you grow up in church, and it's like David was a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
I never really understood what that meant, and then I read how troubled David's life was.
Yeah.
And you start going, and when you just read out these little pickpockets, right, of what his story was, and you didn't understand it by reading the whole thing, it's all about how David was repentant and reliant.
He had a special ability to be able to fall on his knees and ask for forgiveness when he realized what he did.
Yeah. He was a perfect example of us, right? Yeah. And so it's Psalms 23, and I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Psalms 23, and I'm going to read this direct. And so it reads a little different than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In grass meadows He makes me lie down. By quiet waters guides me. My life He brings back. He leads me on pathways of justice for His name's sake. Though I walk in the vale of death's shadow, I fear no harm, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, it is there to console me. You set out a table before me in the face of my foes. You moisten my head with oil, my cup overflows. Let but goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for many long days." It's usually dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The actual direct translation that it talks about is all the days of my life and forever. Eschatologically, it actually is talking about having a happy fate in the time of living on earth. Mm-hmm. And when he talks about moisten my head with oil, he was a shepherd, and there's many shepherd references here. And what you would do, and I spoke about this in one of our lectures previously, is you would put oil on the head of the sheep to heal the wounds. Sheep, guess what sheep are? They're super stupid.
Yeah.
Guess what we are? Super stupid.
Super duper.
And so when he uses, I didn't understand that. And so you really dig in, you start understanding the translations. And what he's saying is, God protects me. He sees me as the stupid sheep that I am.
Yeah.
And he massages my head a little.
Yeah.
And I'm going, man. And so when you can start to understand that.
It's so funny you say that, if you bring that up, because that right there, that's the first verse that my dad actually sat down and broke down to me.
Yeah.
It's the first one that he ever did that to, and I was hooked from that point.
Dude, it's such a good one. And it follows, Psalm 22 leads into it. And Psalm 22 is his prediction of Christ on the cross, essentially. And it's when I made the case that I think it was in Absalom, his son was pursuing him to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And man, David had a lot of things that he dealt with, but I think 23 really draws it in to kind of like solidify him going, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm troubled. I'm walking under the veil of death's shadow. So not in the valley of shadow. The valley of shadow of death, I'm like, okay, cool. You walk through the valley, that's neat.
Yeah.
The veil of death's shadow means every step I take, something is lurking over me to kill me. Like, think about that. Like, you think of a scythe, right? Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Every step you take. And there is a battle that goes on around us.
Yeah.
And
spiritual battle.
And I think, too, the devil, man, he's the best salesman there is.
Yeah.
Because what he does, because I've thought about this, I'm like, how would the devil sell it? I talk about the angel demon too, right?
Yeah.
Is that he's a king of distraction. And that's why this is so important, because every day, if we don't walk in the understanding, oh, I got it. Everything, them church people, whatever. They don't have time. If you're not in the word, you're not putting on the armor. And if you're not putting on the armor, you're not praying, you're going to end up with scenarios that, quite frankly, life's unbearable. I've had a
it's
really
gonna take you out.
Yeah, I've had a really rough month, right? We talk deep, right? And he knows everything that's going on in my life. I'm not gonna go into it. But man, it has been, quite honestly, I said this to a friend 2 days ago. I said, this day right now is the day that I love being an alcoholic pothead.
Yeah.
Because at least. And he goes, well, man, and he, being a good friend, not gonna lie, he was like, man, you could smoke. And I was like, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I was like, you know why? I said, because all it does is push my problems in a different direction.
Yep.
And even though at that moment,
it might seem like it's loose,
I wanted to kind of do it, right?
Yeah.
Because I knew that it would provide like daily relief in my life. But the problem is, for me, it's not even that I see it as this wrong, horrible thing. I still don't, right? I still don't. But for me, it was me going, that's not going to solve my problems.
It's not.
And what did solve my problems, what helps me solve my problems, is even when I don't want to read, I don't want to pay attention, I sit down and I go, God, I'm mad right now, man. Yeah. I'm upset.
Just openly saying, hey,
dude,
man, this is what it is.
I don't understand. Yeah. I don't need to. But right now, I'm struggling. But, hey, man, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I found is the biggest thing. There's actually science to this.
Yeah.
When you are thankful in prayer, it changes the way that your brain operates.
Absolutely. They say your perception is your reality. How you perceive
100%.
Everything to be, that's going to be the reality that you live in.
I mean, I start every morning that way now. With my prayer, every single morning, I roll over and I scoop up Oscar. His big 75-pound lump, right? I pull him out from underneath the cover. He sleeps under the covers. It's the craziest thing. The dog wouldn't let me pet him at first, and now he sleeps under the covers. Great dog, man. And I pull him up to me, and literally he rolls over on his back. He falls back asleep. I just rub his belly and I pray. Yeah. And the very first thing I think, God, thank you for waking me up.
Yeah, I do it every morning, man. I sit up on the side of the bed and I shake my head. I try to get the cobwebs out, man. And my wife used to sit there and be like, she was like, what's wrong? And I wouldn't say anything. I'm sitting there and I'm praying. I'm just looking down and I'm not saying anything. I'm just praying. And she's like, you okay? Yeah. And she asked me like 3 times. And now that we've been together for all these years now, she just look at me.
Yeah.
Just roll back over and go to sleep, man. But I have to do that before my feet touch the ground.
Yeah.
To get going.
Yeah.
Because I always look at it like this. I know a lot of cats that just didn't wake up. Yeah. So I have another day, and I'm happy about that. But like I said, I got another chance to spread the gospel. I got another chance to talk to other people. I got another chance to get closer to my dreams, so I could get bent up out of shape, and then I got new grace for the day. Mm-hmm. So I have to thank him every morning when I wake up.
100%.
Every morning when I get up. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I'll tell you the other thing too. I pray all the time now.
Yeah,
I pray now. I talk to God. I used to think there had to be.
It don't have to be long and lengthy prayers.
Dude, I talk to Jesus all the time, dude.
Yeah, man.
I was one of the best times I do is when I run. When I run in the morning, I'm constantly thinking about stuff.
Yeah,
and that's why I got a lot of my thoughts out in the mornings. And I'm sitting there, and man, by mile 3, I mean, I'm talking to Jesus for 20 minutes already.
Out loud.
Absolutely.
I'm on my forklift at work, and I'm thinking about stuff, and I'm talking out loud to him.
It's so, and you know, that's where I feel like you're growing in the faith, right? It's when you're open, and that's where you have to be. Yeah. And it's not other people, it's not buildings, it's not dogma that's going to get you there.
Right.
It's going, and that's the thing, man. Pastor Ed, and I hate we didn't get to see him on Sunday. We're going to see him talk.
Man, we'll catch him next time.
We're definitely going to do it. But Edlet, man, we were in what got me, so I was coming into my faith again, and I just found Philippians 1:21. Lola had passed away. I'd gotten soberish. I was getting sober, and I saw a men's retreat on Wednesday nights. It was 6 weeks, men's deal. I signed me my dad. I called my dad. I was like, hey, bro, I signed us up for this. Hope you don't mind. And I think it was about the third week, Ed literally goes, guys, Jesus wants to have a relationship. He wants you to talk to him. And I was like, sitting there and I'm going, that's pretty profound. The creator of the universe
wants to have a relationship
wants me to talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of hit me. I was like, man, maybe I ought to start trying harder. And that's when I picked up a Read the Bible in a Year card, and I read it in 4 months. Right? I was like, I couldn't put this stuff down.
Get with it.
Yeah, I was like, read 2 chapters. I'm like, bro, I'm 7 in. I can't stop.
Yeah.
It's so good because the story. I would always be like, well, the story continues, so I'll just keep reading. But man,
there's something that said I has to stop.
Exactly. You know what's crazy? There's a crazy stat. It only takes 70 hours to read through the Bible in a regular reading rate. 70 hours.
I believe that.
Yeah. 70 hours. That's one of my random apologetics thing.
But I get that though, because the first time it dawned on me that God wants to have a relationship with you was what I was reading through Genesis.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was all it was in the beginning was Adam and Eve in the garden with God. You know, that's what we're trying to get back to, the Paradise Lost, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But Paradise Lost is basically us being in the same place and being able to communicate with God on a regular basis. And it's like, now I'm like, okay, so this is what it was all about in the whole beginning, is me being able to talk. Okay, so I'm gonna run my, people looking at me as I ride by my forklift and I'm talking, they like, who is he talking to?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's
talking to the man. I'm talking to the I-am, you know? Well, that's the thing, man. You know, I think that's where church can also get in the way, is that the doctrinal, you have to, you know, spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch, and do all these things to make a shout out to Austin Powers.
That's exactly where my mind went to.
To make it where you're in this reverence piece, and you do. Jesus says, he says, go find a closet, and when you read the translation from the Greek, or he says it in the way he speaks it, he literally is talking about like a food closet, like your pantry.
Right.
So like think of the smallest room, your food pantry is your popcorn and all that, right? Your canned goods.
Yeah.
He's saying, go get in there when nobody can find you.
Yeah.
You need to have that time.
That quiet time. That quiet time.
And that's my morning time. Yeah. But
mine is the bathroom.
There you go.
My wife is like, are you done?
I'm praying, woman. Yeah. You know? I mean, we're working through some things. Yeah. But that's what it has to be, man. You need that time, but then also, man, I never lose the chance to speak to Jesus.
Yeah.
And I even a journal, I can look at my journal now over the past 6 months, and yes, I journal. I used to make fun of it, right? And then I started doing it, and I was like, this is a great way to gather my thoughts. And it's so funny to watch, even when I flip back and I look at what I used to write compared to what I write now. I go, man, I've changed so much in a short period. That's why it's so fascinating to journal. I think it's because you can write down your thoughts and you go, what has changed in my life? How have I changed? And you don't know until you really start digging in. And I can't not speak about it enough. And quite frankly, sometimes I think maybe it's quite a little annoying for people, but I also don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying. It might be annoying. I've got that too. You know, people say, you're always talking about that kind of stuff. But the reverse of that is, I've got a lot of people that have come to me and be like, hey man, talk to me a little bit more about this. You know, and that's a good feeling right there, man. Yeah. When you actually get somebody that's actually interested in hearing about God's word, and you can actually give it to them in a way that they can understand it. Yeah. And that's another thing with the church hurt. A lot of people go to these churches and they don't even understand half of the stuff that the dude is saying. It's not being explained. They don't have access to that person to be able to break it down to them the way that it needs to be broken down. And that's where I think the rest of us in the body of Christ come in, to be able to reach out to these people and talk to these guys and be able to break things down to them.
Yeah.
The way that somebody can.
Yeah. You don't have the time. You don't have the time to be able to.
The minister doesn't.
No.
He can't be in everywhere that he needs to be able to do that. But I can't remember who said it, but man, I think it might have been Vody Baca. We are the only Bible that some people will ever read. The people who are walking around. 100%. That we are the only ones that they'll able to get a chance to actually look at.
Yeah.
And so they looking at the way that you carry yourself and the way that you operate out in the world. And a lot of that causes a lot of church hurt, because when you find somebody that you think is supposed to be a certain way and then you see them at work and they act in a completely different way or something like that.
You know, it's not even the big thing. So like, it's not even the people that party too much. It's not even the people.
No.
It's the people that try to act sovereign or religious or self-righteous.
Yeah.
So
great self-righteous part.
So
boy.
man, you know, that's when Jesus says, he says, you know, a rich man will never pass through to go to heaven. Where
it's harder for them to get through the needle.
What he's talking about is self-righteousness.
Yes.
Because the richness, the money, was what he believed that would protect him.
Yeah.
And so self-righteousness is such a problematic thing, especially that's where so much church hurt comes from.
Yeah.
It's not the people that are doing, I say this a lot, there's a big difference in right and righteous.
Yeah.
And if you're of the world, there's a lot of things you can be doing that are right. There's also going to be a lot of things that you can be doing that are right in the world that aren't righteous.
Yeah, that's very true.
Honestly, man, if everybody else is doing it, I've always kind of been this way. If everybody else is, I didn't have a Facebook page until like 9 years after it started, just to be like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I was that douchebag, right? I'm the guy that I'm not going to catch the trend, so I'm the guy that's not trendy on purpose. Like, that's stupid too. But at least I can admit it. But
I was like that with cell phones. It took me a long time to get
hit me up on the beep. Yeah, I got the fluorescent green one. You know what I mean?
I was like, man, don't track me. I don't want to be tracked. And then I was on the side of the road in the wintertime, and I was like, yeah, I might need a cell phone.
I got a cell phone now. Yeah, the backbone ain't cutting it. Bad sig. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. I think that getting into that point where it's, man, I want to seek out Christ-like righteousness.
Yeah.
You'll never reach it, you'll never attain it. But man, you got to die to yourself, dude.
Yeah.
You got to die to yourself, pick up the cross every day. That's why he tells us that. Is because, man, it's a struggle every day. I'll be running. I'll tell you, man, one of my biggest ones, I got so much Peter and Paul in me, man. I'll chop your ear off quick.
I got a lot of Peter in me.
People pull out the worst one, I'll be running on Governor Street, man. People pull out of Burger King or Hardee's, they don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And if they hit my dog, I'm going to knock them out.
Oh, boy, it's going to be over.
And so I see people pull out real quick and they don't pay attention to you, and I get fiery, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that in traffic.
Oh God,
I'm like that in traffic, man. I had to tell my wife. My wife has got it really bad because I'm like, babe, please, you can't scream at people in traffic because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to beat somebody up because you're doing it.
And I will do it.
And I'll do it. I'll do it. Call her another name if you want to.
Exactly, bro. Yeah. So I have to work on that. But like that's what I don't want. I catch myself now more than I ever have because I go, I don't want to be that person anymore.
Yeah.
But I actually had a scenario recently with a guy, again, can't say names, where there were things that my immediate thought in my head was, you're mad about this, you're about to flip out, you're gonna pop off, I'm gonna violent, crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it in my head, but I didn't feel it in here. And I sat back and I was like, I'm not really mad.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm gonna respond in a way that is very different than what I've ever responded to, because at this moment, even if I'm right, wrong, indifferent, no matter what I say, it's not going to be seen the way that it should.
Yeah.
Why do I want to get my comeuppance out of it? What does that gain?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
That's pride.
100%.
That's pride.
And it shut down. And literally in my head, I'm telling you, in my head, I'm sitting there with a little devil going, oh, just say what you want to say. Yeah. And I'm going, that's not worth it. And so
no
I went, but it even wasn't, I'm not going to get anything out of it. It was, I don't want to portray un-Christ-like love.
There you go. Yeah.
And so I shifted and went, dude, whatever.
I'm not that good at that yet.
I'm fine. It's the craziest feeling.
I still have a little bit of that.
I do too.
I'm trying to dial it back but I do understand what you're saying though, because I don't want to give it a bad look.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Christ a bad look.
No.
But oh man,
and I thought I was
certain things where it's just.
I'm telling you, I thought I was supposed to be mad.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm supposed to feel a certain way about this. I just don't feel that certain way.
Well,
and I was like, thank you, Jesus. This is.
It depends on what it is.
Oh, 100%.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a cheat guy. If you hit me,
look, yeah.
You hit me, I'm gonna knock your teeth out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We're scrapping, man.
Yeah, and it'll be fun too. That's it. Look, I bounced
somebody in 5 years.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God, man! I used to literally tell people I got 4 good fights left. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I would rotate the names that I said when those 4 fights are coming. Man, I'm telling you, I bounced in bars, man. I worked security in bars after the Navy. I was a gunner's mate in the Navy, dude. Like, I've never run away from a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Me either, man. Me either.
But that's something also that changes too. I think now instead of like being angry about it and holding them down, I'd be like, "You done yet?"
Yeah.
I think that would be the difference now.
I think I could keep myself from like stomping somebody down.
Yeah.
You know, I could, but man, like you said, it would be fun. And sometimes, especially if it's something that is just getting on my nerves and just aggravated.
Yeah. Game on.
Game on.
It's so funny.
Game on.
It's so funny. And it's funny too because I look at it like Paul, man. Paul was Saul, and Stephen was getting stoned and axed.
Yeah.
And Saul at the time,
it's egging it on.
He was who they were laying their cloaks at his feet. That means he was the guy that was standing there like, "Who wants me? You want me to hold your coat? I'm gonna hold your coat. Go stone him." And then he turned into Paul, who literally got beat so bad and stoned himself that they threw him outside of the city. I forget the city it was. I have to look it up. And literally, they thought they killed him.
Yeah.
And the sucker woke up.
Yeah.
And went right back in the city. That's where I'm trying to get.
That's a nance right there, bro.
And that's the thing. I'm gonna tell you, that's the ultimate win too, because it's like you're showing more. So Christ was not a weak guy.
No.
He was the strongest, most intelligent, and that's the other thing is that what that shows is resilience, Christ-like resilience.
Very much so.
And there's more to gain in that than anything else. And that's something I've had to learn too for myself, is that being able to replicate and resonate that type of love to where I go, I care more about you and my impact on you than my fist on you.
Yeah. And the pride that I have of doing all of that, I don't care about that. I'm not even worried about that anymore.
No, yeah. It's a tough thing though. I'm gonna tell you, it's a very, very tough thing.
It is hard. It's hard to swallow pride.
Brother,
But you talk about a thorn in the flesh. But when you can get it done, when you get past that, because there's a lot of things that I've gotten past. That might not be one of them, but a lot of other things. That I've gotten past. It does make me feel better. And I don't want to be prideful about that. I don't want to be like, I was able to beat such and such.
No,
I don't want to do that, but it does give you a good feeling.
Yeah.
Once you get past certain stuff.
And I think that's where it comes from, is knowing that we are paid for.
Yes.
So we are a part of something greater and more, more resonant in the eternity of life than we ever see.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. I told you, Psalm 100, man, I actually wrote in my Bible right here, for my clothes. And that means when I die, I want this read in my funeral.
Right.
And I'm just going to read it to you. It says, shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. His love endures forever. He made us, and we are his.
Right.
It's not us. And that's where, and we're peeling back to the church. That's what the church does. We walk in, and we try and dissect things, and we go, it's about me. Yeah. It's not.
It's not.
And you talk about the pastors, man, that's a tough job. Because you're standing up there and you're trying to relay a message for a broad audience. And you're going, am I trying to bring people that don't know the word to Christ? Is this one of those? Is this a mission opportunity, or is this a teaching opportunity?
Feed the sheep, man.
Yeah, dude. It's so hard. So I look at it. It's kind of like a buffet, right? It's kind of like going to Barnyard Buffet in Sierra Leone. Love that place.
Yeah.
Remember when it was my grandpa and I used to go there, and it's so good.
Yeah.
And but that's what I think. That's where the lead pastor, what his role is. He sets the buffet, right? And then we in the body, we get to go up and be like Shoney's. I used to get a plate full of bacon.
Yeah.
Remember Shoney's? And I would literally, as a kid, I'd be like, have so much bacon I could barely carry the plate.
Sodium through the roof.
Oh my God! Yeah. Look, I was a blueberry girl for a long time for a reason. Okay, you know. Yeah, I love food, and but it was literally, you know, that's what I think it is. We as the body of Christ, right? We take that leadership, right? That guidance. And even in the lectures, I try and drill down. This is so perfect too, I think, because we were able to kind of disseminate more of that base, you know, drill down the base level information. Here's why we're eating fish. Here's why we're eating eggs today. And that's a tough thing. But I think people also get really hung up on, well, that message didn't speak to me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what did you try to get out? What was your heart prepared to get something out of it?
I had to get to that point too, because I was like, me and my wife, I've been teaching her over the years, and we'll have conversations, and she'll be like, well, I've already heard that before. I'm like, yeah, but ain't nothing like hearing it over and over again and reaffirming what you already learned and things of that nature. And I'm like, okay, well, even if it's not for you, it's still for you. Even if you heard it before, it's still for you. And this is what I found out. The more and more I hear something, I get a new revelation out of it every time I hear it. Yeah. So, and that's what I was telling my wife. So, if you didn't get anything out of it, you will hold on a while, because it has a way of coming back. Yeah. And laying it on your heart, or you'll go through something later on in life, and bam, there it goes again. And okay. Give it a while. That's what
we have to have a heart of study. Yes. We have to bring a heart, and if you know. If you don't like to read, it's gonna be hard to be a Christian, right? Because you got to study, man. Yeah. But I would say, like,
study to show yourself approved.
It was a forceful thing for me at first when I really started trying to dig in. Yeah. And now I have a hunger for reading the Word, and that's why, man, I'm telling you, you've seen the photo. I think you see me bring all these different Bibles and stuff. I have so many variations of the Word too. And the one thing I will say is profound. There's reasons why we have different translations. Yes. They are pretty much, I mean, there's some that are really out there, right? Yeah, I would say, please don't buy that Bible, right? But for the most part, man, especially now, we have so much more context from the scripts that we continue to find. Brother, they're very, very similar. It's just how it gives you the information. And we got to have a heart of stuff.
Talking about that not too long ago.
Yeah. We know what else he said that I love? And you alluded to it. He's talking about the Gospels. We're the fifth Gospel. Yes. We are the people that have to be doing this to give that back to the church, which the church is a gathering. It's the people, the body of Christ. The building. And we look at the building too much. But man,
that's really the bad part about church hurt. Yeah. Because this is what I never understood about people with church hurt. You'll stop going. You see something that you don't like at a particular church, and you just do away with the whole body of Christ. Yeah. And go in a different direction. And I could somewhat understand, because of what I went through. I can understand you not going back to that church. Yes. I can understand that. But to be totally done with the entire body of Christ because of what that dude did, or because of what this chick did, you know what I'm saying? I've never understood that.
Well, I think it's because we look at, I think when that happens, you look at it not, number one, you're not genuinely trying to seek out God. I think that's true. Secondly, I think it's an excuse to make life easier for what you think is easier. Yeah. It's easier not to live under these rules and regulations. Yeah. Man, God, if you read it, there's not a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. We're not living under Levitical law. Yeah. There's not 1,600 things that we have to pay attention to. Thank God. Right. I can intermingle my blue and white cords on my clothing.
I could shave my beard.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's not that crazy. Literally, what Jesus says, there's the 10 commandments, obviously, they're very, very holy. Jesus is asked for the Pharisee, and he says, love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. Yeah. And love your neighbor as yourself. If you kind of start doing that, all the other rules and regulations will start to go, you'll start going, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But we're afraid to let go of what makes us feel good or what makes us fit in or whatever else it is, my job, my community, my things. Well, I got
unforgiveness to other people around you, somebody that's did something to you, unforgiveness of just, hey man, I want to stay mad at that guy and all that kind of stuff.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm going to read one more thing and we're going to close up. We're running out of time here, but we're kind of getting close to the time.
Yeah.
That's something. Forgiveness, I think, is one of the most critical ones. I truly agree. 100%. Man. I can't find it right now. I wish I could.
Paraphrase.
Basically, I'm going to read this one. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. That's one. Be a peacemaker. That's hard for me to swallow. Secondly, Jesus tells you, if you forgive others as God forgives you. And I think that is ultimately the most difficult thing. And he also goes on to say, forgive others even when you don't feel like they deserve it.
Yeah.
Even when you're like, you know what, but you did this to me. There's no you did this to me.
There's no reason to hold on to it. No. But I know people who are holding on to hurt from their childhood.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, man, it's got to be rotting you away on the inside.
But they teach, the world, it's the thing. If you're of the world, you're not of him. He says that. And so when you listen to the world tell you, it's okay to live your truth. It's okay for you to live your feelings.
God, I hate that phrase.
Oh, me too. It drives me nuts because I go, no. You actually get relief when you let it go.
Yes.
Become frozen. Let it go. Let it go. That's a reason why there's a song about it.
Yeah.
When you let it go, man. And it's not always easy.
It's not easy.
You know what? The other thing, it's going to keep coming up. Like I said this week, when I was sitting there going, it was easier for me to be an alcoholic pothead.
Yeah.
And I can make one phone call and pull that bong out of the closet.
Yeah.
And my problems
and everything was just smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing after that because I wouldn't care. But that was the problem. You know what it was? I wouldn't care.
Yeah. But it always came back.
It always comes back.
It always came back.
And that's the thing, man. We all have issues. We all have problems. And I think often we don't like to acknowledge that there's a bigger issue than just ourselves.
Yeah.
When you look at other people that are walking down the street, when you look at that homeless person, and you go, oh, who cares?
Yeah.
They are a child of God. Why is that person, one of the things I saw my grandfather do, I'm going to end me on this here. My grandpa would go to Walmart. I lived with him for a short period of time. He would go to Walmart. He would get pies. He would go pies at Walmart.
Yeah.
Man,
like apple pies.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
So he would go, and he would be gone for 2.5, 3 hours, man. And he would come back with either a story of who he ran into or how long he was gone, all those things. It's because he would always call me by name when he read the name. He would always, himself didn't even know. He was always asking people. I love him for the Lord. Every conversation with people, he even know. And I saw that light in that man. And I'm going to tell you, every time I'm in a store, if you're wearing a name tag, I'm using your name.
Yeah.
It was some sales tactic stuff that I've gotten through sales, but also it's because it makes it personal and it shows you care. Mm-hmm. Man, I've had some instances where I've tried to be, I'm going to call this and I'm going to get this done. I'm going to call this insurance company and wait till I get on the phone.
Yeah.
You get nothing done.
Yeah. When
you call them and you're like, how are you today? You know what I give you a little sales tactic here. I go, I'm so excited to have you on the phone today so we can get through this together.
Yeah.
And when people feel like
they're important and I can make a difference in somebody's day. Yeah.
This life, man, that's all we got. Man. And things come and go, people don't. And how we have to impact others, our spirit influence, I always talk about too, right? It's the people that you don't realize, maybe they're having a bad day and maybe they're a little persnickety to you. Maybe they're a little sharp-tongued to you.
Yeah.
Take it and go. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That right there could change that person from going and doing something detrimental to themselves that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
How we affect people, man, is so important. I've really had to shift how I felt about that because I used to carry a lot of it.
Me too.
And it's such a tough thing. Such a tough thing.
And it'll destroy you in the long run.
God,
I had to, like you said, I had to learn to let it go.
Yeah. Nobody wins that game. I love it. But I'm good on this one. I think we got some great stuff out there.
Hey, I'm good, bro.
This is a fantastic time.
Man,
guys,
I love this.
I do too. We have so much fun doing this, and we are so blessed that you guys take the chance to watch it. We know you are because I got to do analytics. but we are so blessed to be able to share this stuff with you. And if nothing else, we hope that we get to see you in eternity.